What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And today we are going over the evolution of Chris Jericho. Let's get straight onto the video with his first ever gimmick, and that is WCW Lionheart. That lasted from August 1996 through July 1999. Chris Jericho made his debut in WCW, a part of their Cruiserweight division. He would win his first two Cruiserweight championships in June of 1997 against X-Pac, and also in August of 1997 against Alex Wright. During his run in WCW, he would also begin a feud with Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko was known in wrestling as the man of 1,000 holds because of his technical wrestling ability. Jericho, however, claimed that he was a better wrestler than him, and had a segment in March of 1998 where he would read a list of 1,004 holds. Near the end of his WCW run, he would be involved in storylines over the WCW Television Championship. In August of 1998, he would defeat Stevie Ray for the championship, but he later lost it to Conan in November of 1998. His final feud in WCW would be against Perry Saturn. His final match for WCW was at a house show in July of 1999, where he and Eddie Guerrero lost to Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman. Next up, we have Y2J, and that was from August 1999 through May of 2002. Before Jericho made his WWE debut in August, a countdown to the new millennium was starting to appear on WWE programming. In August of 1999, the clock would run out while The Rock was in the ring cutting a promo. He would make his in-ring debut later that month as a heel when he lost his match to Road Dogg by DQ on the very first episode of SmackDown. His first long feud was between him and China over the IC Championship. The feud would result in them becoming co-champions due to separate referees declaring them each as the winner of the match for the title, leading Jericho to turn babyface. Under the gimmick, Chris Jericho would hold each active title at least once. Jericho would also become a major part of the WCW and ECW invasion storyline. Even though he remained on the WWE side, he would slowly turn heel due to the jealousy of The Rock. They faced each other for the WCW Championship at No Mercy. A few weeks later, The Rock would regain the championship, but would then be attacked by Jericho at Survivor Series, costing him the match. The following month at Vengeance, Chris Jericho would defeat The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in one night to become the first ever WWE Undisputed Champion. He would hold the title until WrestleMania 18, where he would lose it to Triple H in the main events. The feud would continue until Judgment Day, where Jericho lost in a Hell in a Cell match. After that, we have the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla, and that was from May of 2002 through August of 2005. After Jericho finished his feud with Triple H, he would become a part of the Raw roster. A highlight from this gimmick is his feud with Shawn Michaels. It would start off at the Royal Rumble when Jericho was given the opportunity to choose what number he wanted to enter at. He chose the number 2 spot so that he could start with HBK, who challenged him to prove that he was better than him. However, Christian came out of the entrance stage in Jericho's gear, while Chris Jericho would attack HBK from behind. Shortly after, Jericho eliminated Shawn Michaels. This feud all culminated at WrestleMania 19 when Jericho fought Shawn Michaels. Jericho would lose the match, but after the match ended, he would give Shawn Michaels a low blow. It would be under this gimmick where Chris Jericho would also premiere the highlight reel and suggested the concept of the Money in the Bank. His final feud under this gimmick was against John Cena. The feud started after Chris Jericho and John Cena teamed up, but then Jericho attacked Cena from behind after the match. This led them to having a match at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship, where Jericho lost. The next night on Raw, Chris Jericho faced Cena in a You're Fired match, where Chris Jericho lost again, making that his last appearance under that character and his final WWE appearance for the next 2 years. After that, we have the Code Breaker gimmick, and that was from September of 2007 through June of 2008. In September of 2007, 15-second videos showing binary codes started to appear on Monday Night Raw. Then in November of 2007, Chris Jericho made his long-awaited return to WWE as a face when he interrupted Randy Orton's passing of the torch ceremony. Jericho would later go on to face Randy Orton for the WWE Championship at Armageddon. He would also defeat Jeff Hardy in March of 2008 on Raw to win his 8th Intercontinental Championship. The only other big storyline besides his feud with Orton under this gimmick was the storyline with Shawn Michaels and Batista. He was inserted into Batista and Shawn Michaels' match at Backlash as a special guest referee. During the match, Shawn Michaels faked a knee injury so that he would be given time to recover, but then superkicked Batista to win. Jericho would then accuse the Heartbreak Kid of cheating and would later face him at Judgment Day. Jericho would lose this match but offered a handshake afterwards. A few weeks later, Jericho would bring Shawn Michaels onto the highlight reel, and that's when he attacked Shawn Michaels and put him through the Jeritron 6000. All this led to a heel turn while ending this gimmick. Next up, we have the best in the world at what he does, and that was from June of 2008 through July of 2012. When Jericho started his best in the world at what he does gimmick, he would take away every aspect of his Y2J character that made him popular in order to be hated as a heel. When the gimmick started, he was also still in the feud with Shawn Michaels. He would lose his IC championship due to a distraction by Michaels at Night of Champions against Kofi Kingston. They would later face each other at the Great American Bash, where Jericho won after attacking a cut on HBK's eye. At SummerSlam, HBK would say that his eye damage would force him to retire, and then insulted Jericho when he said that he would never reach his success. Jericho then tried to attack Shawn Michaels but accidentally punched his wife after he ducked. They would then meet at Unforgiven in an unsanctioned match where Jericho would lose. However, later in the night, Jericho would win the World Heavyweight Championship. He would hold the championship multiple times under this gimmick, as well as the IC Championship and the Unified Tag Team Championships, teaming up with both Edge and The Big Show. He would also be involved in multiple storylines over the next few months, including his feud with Edge over the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 26. He was a part of the Team WWE against the Team Nexus at SummerSlam, and he would then leave WWE in September 2010, but would later return in January of 2012. His most important storyline when he came back was his storyline with CM Punk over the WWE Championship. Jericho talks about how Punk's father is an alcoholic and how his sister was a drug addict. They would face each other at WrestleMania 28 and then at Extreme Rules in a Chicago street fight. The final appearance that he made under this gimmick was at Money in the Bank when he participated in the WWE Championship Money in the Bank ladder match. Moving on to the second to last gimmick, and that is his face turn from July 2012 through January 2016. Chris Jericho started his run under this new face gimmick the night after Money in the Bank. He turned face by hitting Ziggler with a code breaker. It led to them having a match at SummerSlam, and then the next day on Raw, Jericho put his Money in the Bank briefcase on the line while Jericho put on his WWE contract on the line. Jericho lost the match and left WWE for about 5 months. Then at the Royal Rumble, Jericho made his return as a number 2 entrant. His first big match was against CM Punk at Payback. He would be involved in a few minor storylines over the next 2 years, like his feud with the Wyatt family in the summer of 2014, and his storyline with the New Day in January of 2016. Also in September of 2015, he teamed up with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose against the Wyatt family at Night of Champions. His final storyline under this new gimmick was against AJ Styles. They would face each other on Raw, where Styles would defeat Jericho, and then a few weeks later on SmackDown, where Jericho would defeat Styles. Finally, they had a match at Fastlane where Styles would once again defeat Jericho, and that was the end of this gimmick. And we have Chris Jericho's last gimmick, which is a stupid idiot gimmick that started March of 2016 and is still going to date. After the match between AJ Styles and Chris Jericho at Fastlane, they would form a tag team called Y2AJ. However, after they lost their tag team match against the New Day, Jericho would attack AJ Styles and turn heel. Jericho would say that he was annoyed at the fans for chanting for AJ Styles instead of him. He would start to call both his opponents and the fans stupid idiots. They would face each other in a match at WrestleMania 32 where Jericho surprisingly won. After his feud with AJ Styles wrapped up, he would begin feuding with Dean Ambrose. After the brand split, Jericho would form an alliance with Kevin Owens. Him and his best friend would feud against superstars like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. They would also be co-captains of the Raw Survivor Series team, and then Jericho would win his first ever United States Championship. And that is the evolution of Chris Jericho. Let me know in the comments below if you think he is the true GOAT of wrestling. As always, thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Also, follow me on Twitter at Pllana. Check out my other channels, Official Life Hacks and NoLoveVP, and I'll see you all later.